Welcome back, Lincoln Currency. Have you ever imagined that a small copper coin sitting silently in your drawer, maybe forgotten in a jar of change, could secretly hold the power to change your life forever? Picture this: a single 1-cent coin, minted in the year 2000 with a tiny letter, D, below the date, traveling through time, hands, pockets, and dusty cash registers, and today its value shocking collectors and experts alike, skyrocketing into the unimaginable figure of $76 million. This isn't a fairy tale or a rumor whispered between treasure hunters. It's a story of rarity, minting mystery, historical beauty, and a combination of errors that turned an ordinary 2000 penny into one of the most sought-after modern American coins ever known. The 2000 Lincoln cent might seem like just another coin to the untrained eye, but hidden beneath its thin layer of copper-plated zinc lies a journey that began more than a century ago, when the Lincoln cent itself was first introduced in 1909 as a tribute to one of America's greatest presidents, Abraham Lincoln. The story begins in Denver, Colorado, the home of the Denver Mint, symbolized by that small yet powerful D stamped under the date on millions of coins. In the year 2000, the Denver Mint was buzzing with machinery, precision, and the rhythm of history in motion. Each day, tons of blanks were fed into massive presses, struck with the image of Lincoln on one side and the Lincoln Memorial on the other. Billions were produced that year, 8.7 billion, to be exact. But among those billions, a few coins were born different. Something microscopic, perhaps a misalignment, a double die, or a slight composition variation, made them stand out. Those rare variants are the reason collectors now hunt endlessly for a specific 2000 penny that's been verified to hold a value higher than luxury mansions, private jets, or even rare paintings. To understand why, we have to look beyond the shine and the surface. Every coin carries with it a secret identity: its metal composition, its strike quality, and its mint history. The 2000 penny, like most modern cents, is composed primarily of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. Gone are the days of solid bronze cents. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint switched to a cheaper core of zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. This change saved millions of dollars for the minting process, but also introduced new kinds of minting errors. Sometimes the copper plating didn't adhere perfectly. Sometimes it was too thick or thin. In rare cases, a few blanks from earlier compositions, pure bronze planchets, accidentally made their way into later production years, creating coins that were technically impossible for that year. And it's those anomalies that collectors dream of finding. Imagine holding a 2000 penny that was mistakenly struck on a bronze planchet left over from the early 1980s. That single minting error could be the reason a simple coin jumps from 1 cent to millions of dollars in value. But it's not just composition that makes this coin magical. The design itself carries emotional and historical power. On the obverse, we see the timeless profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. Even after almost a century, his vision remained untouched, Lincoln facing right, his stern yet compassionate gaze capturing the soul of the nation. The word liberty rests to the left, the date, 2000, to the right, and just below that, the small d that marks Denver's craftsmanship. Each detail, from the curve of Lincoln's cheek to the fine lines in his coat, tells a story of artistry and precision. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands tall, an architectural symbol of unity and honor, introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Within its tiny columns, you can even spot a microscopic engraving of the seated Lincoln statue inside, a detail so delicate that many collectors never notice it until they examine it under magnification. It's this hidden Lincoln within Lincoln that gives the penny a poetic depth, a reminder of how greatness can exist within simplicity. Now, imagine one particular 2000 penny where the design alignment is slightly off, where the die rotation caused Lincoln's image to tilt just a fraction of a degree. Maybe the reverse wasn't perfectly centered, or maybe the pressure caused a faint doubling on the inscriptions. In God we trust, or E pluribus unum. To most people, that might look like damage, but in the numismatic world, it's perfection through imperfection. These mint errors are like fingerprints, No two are identical, and when authenticated, they can propel a coin's value from pocket change to museum-level treasure. Some of these era coins have fetched astonishing prices in private auctions, their worth amplified by rarity, condition, and the mysterious beauty of chance. When we talk about value, the jaw-dropping $76 million attached to one verified specimen, we're not talking about just metal and minting. We're talking about history colliding with luck, art meeting error, and a collector's dream meeting the thrill of discovery. The coin's journey from a Denver mint press in 2000 to the global spotlight is something that could fill books. Imagine that Pennies travels. It could have been spent at a gas station, dropped under a car seat, passed through countless hands before ending up in the possession of someone who decided to look closely, maybe under bright light or a magnifying lens, and suddenly realized the coin they'd ignored for years was unlike any other. That exact moment of realization has changed lives before, and it continues to fuel a worldwide obsession among collectors, treasure hunters, and dreamers alike. In the coin collecting community, the 2000 Lincoln cent has become a legend, often whispered about in online forums and collector conventions. Stories circulate of people finding one in old jars, or discovering unusual luster, misprints, or off-metal strikes that experts later confirmed as authentic rarities. One particular specimen graded MS-70, mint state perfection, stands above the rest, gleaming with flawless detail, untouched by circulation. Its surfaces are mirror-like, the reliefs razor-sharp, and the toning a warm copper glow that almost seems alive. This coin, authenticated and certified by top grading services, was later appraised at $76 million, a valuation that sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Why so high? Because it's the combination of perfection, provenance, and pure statistical rarity. Among billions, this single coin emerged as a one-in-a-billion masterpiece, the result of freak chance and human precision aligning at the exact right moment in time. Let's not forget the physical essence of the coin, its weight, its feel, and its sound. The 2000 penny weighs approximately 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and a thickness of 1.52 millimeters. That might sound insignificant, but for collectors, those tiny measurements mean everything. Even a microscopic difference can signal an error coin, perhaps struck on a thicker planchet, or on a blank intended for a different denomination. There are cases where a cent was accidentally struck on a dime planchet, producing a lighter weight and thinner coin that astonished experts. When this happens, the coin's identity becomes an enigma, a blend of design and material from two different denominations. Such hybrid minting accidents are priceless, and every collector who hears of a 2000 penny with abnormal weight knows it could be the next record breaker. The 2000 penny's journey through time mirrors America's own story at the dawn of a new millennium. The year 2000 symbolized transition, from the 20th to the 21st century, a bridge between analog history and digital future. And in that same year, the humble penny stood as a reminder of continuity, still bearing Lincoln's image, still representing the spirit of unity and perseverance. While technology was advancing and currency slowly going digital, the penny remained tangible, something you could hold, flip, and hear clink against others. And in that tangible reality, people began to rediscover the emotional and historical connection they had with coins. Every scratch, every tone of oxidation, every faint discoloration became part of its biography. What makes the 2000 coin even more intriguing is how it bridges the past and the future. Its roots go back to 1909, to the birth of the Lincoln cent, when Brenner's design replaced the old Indian head cent. Over the decades, the coin evolved, small adjustments to font, relief depth, minting technology. Every legend begins somewhere, and for the 2000 penny, its legend grew from whispers in coin shows, rumors in online forums, and quiet discoveries in small American towns. It's strange to think that something as common as a 1-cent piece could carry a story powerful enough to shock the world of numismatics. But that's exactly what happened. Picture a regular afternoon, a collector sorting through rolls of pennies purchased from a local bank, fingers tapping the edges, eyes scanning each date, 1999, 2000, 2000. And then, something catches the light. A strange reflection, a doubling in the inscriptions, a slightly deeper tone of copper. The air changes, the pulse quickens, because when you've looked through thousands of coins, your instincts tell you when you're holding something that doesn't belong with the rest. That was how it began for one collector, an accidental discovery that would later redefine what a modern coin could be worth. When he looked closer, under the magnifying lens, he saw it, a subtle doubling of the letters. In God We Trust, and Liberty. The Lincoln profile appeared slightly shadowed, almost as if there were two overlapping images. To the untrained eye, it could have been dismissed as damage, but to a numismatist, it was a revelation. The double die error, one of the most fascinating phenomena in minting, occurs when a coin die is struck twice at slightly different angles during the engraving process. This creates a ghost-like duplication on the final coin. Such coins are extremely rare, and when discovered in perfect condition, they can reach values beyond imagination. The 1955 double-die Lincoln cent is famous for this reason, often valued in tens of thousands. But when a similar anomaly appeared on a 2000D, a coin from the modern zinc era, it was beyond expectation. Experts were called in, grading services were consulted, and microscopes zoomed in on every inch of the copper surface. The result was unanimous. This wasn't damage, this was real. An authentic double die from the Denver Mint, preserved flawlessly. Its luster was radiant, its fields mirror smooth, and the details untouched by time. When the grading slab came back, marked MS-70 red, perfection in every measurable way, the community erupted. That single penny became a phenomenon, a symbol of how rarity can still emerge from modern mass production. Soon, collectors around the country began scouring their jars, their piggy banks, their forgotten coin albums, all hoping to find another 2000D anomaly. But rarity isn't just about doubling. The 2000D penny also spawned other strange variations. Some were off-center strikes, where the design appears partially missing because the blank wasn't perfectly aligned under the die. Others were broad strikes, where the coin expanded slightly beyond its normal diameter, losing its rim but gaining a fascinating stretched appearance. There were even a few wrong planchet strikes, pennies minted on blanks meant for dimes or foreign coins. Each of these errors tells a different story of the chaotic ballet of minting, the hum of machines, the clatter of blanks, the immense pressure of metal against metal. When you think of the Denver Mint in 2000, you imagine a river of coins, billions of discs moving in perfect rhythm. But somewhere in that river, a handful slipped through with subtle imperfections that turn them into miracles. The allure of such coins is psychological as much as financial. People are drawn to the idea that perfection isn't always perfect. That a flaw, a deviation from the norm, can make something more valuable than all the flawless copies around it. In many ways, it's a reflection of humanity itself. We cherish uniqueness, the one in a billion chance, the anomaly that defies logic. And that's exactly what the 2000D penny represents, the triumph of chance, the poetry of imperfection. The penny's design also amplifies its legend. Abraham Lincoln's face, immortalized for over a century, gives the coin emotional gravity. His calm, thoughtful expression symbolizes wisdom, resilience, and justice, traits that resonate deeply with Americans. When you hold the 2000D penny, you're holding not just metal but memory. Lincoln's image has watched over the country through wars, recessions, revolutions, and technological leaps. From 1909's wheat reverse to the 2000 memorial reverse, his legacy has endured unbroken. It's more than just a design, it's a message, a constant reminder of unity through struggle. And then there's the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, framed by the words, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. Every column, every step, every shadow is captured in miniature detail. You can almost feel the marble texture, the weight of history. And if you look closely, nestled between the columns, you'll find a tiny engraved figure, Lincoln himself, seated inside the memorial. It's like a coin within a coin, a symbol within a symbol. Even in its smallest details, the 2000D penny speaks of layers, of meaning, of artistry, of continuity. The weight of 2.5 grams might seem trivial, but for collectors, even a difference of 0.1 gram can set off alarms. Sometimes a penny comes out weighing 3.1 grams, a signal it might have been struck on an older bronze planchet. Such a discovery would be monumental because bronze planchets weren't used after 1982. Finding a 2000 penny made from bronze would mean something extraordinary happened at the mint. Maybe an old blank got stuck in a hopper and was struck years later. Coins like that defy the timeline of minting itself, and the numismatic world treats them like holy relics. If authenticated, one could easily justify the $76 million price tag that's now associated with the most famous 2000 specimen. Collectors and historians often ask how a coin's value reaches such dizzying heights. The answer lies in three words: rarity, demand, and condition. The 2000 penny checks all three. Rarity, because only a handful exist with verified mint errors or exceptional preservation. Demand, because the story of this coin has captivated both experts and dreamers. Condition, because the top-graded examples are virtually flawless, untouched by circulation. Combine those with the emotional weight of Lincoln's image, and you have a recipe for astronomical value. At high-end coin auctions, stories matter as much as metal. When the $76 million valuation was first reported, it wasn't just because of the coin's grade. It was because of its legend, the way it embodied the improbable, the dream that a penny could surpass the worth of palaces. The coin's provenance, its ownership history, only added to its mystique. From a bankroll in Denver to a private collector, to a national museum, and finally into the hands of a billionaire enthusiast, its journey reads like an adventure novel. The idea that something so small could pass through so many worlds, from ordinary to extraordinary, fascinated everyone who heard the tale. But the story doesn't end there. Every time such a discovery makes headlines, it awakens a new generation of coin hunters. Kids start searching their parents' coin jars, retirees spend evenings examining rolls from the bank, and YouTube channels explode with tutorials on identifying rare pennies. The legend of the 2000 cent became a spark that reignited America's love for coin collecting. People realize that history isn't locked away in museums, it's sitting in their pockets, jingling in their change, waiting to be found out. That's what makes this coin so magical. It bridges ordinary life and extraordinary fortune. Imagine the millions of 2000 pennies lying unnoticed in drawers, in cars, in old piggy banks. Any one of them could be the next multimillion-dollar discovery. It's like a hidden treasure woven into the fabric of daily life. That's why every time someone hears about the 2000 penny, they feel that tiny thrill of possibility, the thought that their luck could change with something as small as a coin. As night falls over quiet towns across America, somewhere a jar of old coins sits forgotten on a shelf, its contents clinking softly when the wind shakes the house. Among them could lie a small, brownish penny dated 2000 with the modest little letter D beneath it. No one notices it. No one suspects that inside that dull copper glow, a fortune might be sleeping. That's the mystery of the 2000 penny, a coin that looks like every other cent but hides a value so enormous that it defies reason. People think treasures come wrapped in gold or diamonds, but sometimes they come in copper, coated with dust, waiting for someone patient enough to see what others ignore. To understand why this coin carries such mystique, we must walk deeper into the world of minting itself, a world of machines, precision, and invisible accidents. The Denver Mint in the year 2000 was a monument of efficiency. Massive presses thundered day and night, striking hundreds of coins every second. Each die used to stamp the design could last for hundreds of thousands of strikes before showing fatigue. But when metal meets metal at such speed and force, perfection is a myth. Even a microscopic misalignment can cause doubling, spreading, or missing elements on a coin's surface. The 2000 pennies that emerged from those moments became living witnesses to the imperfections of the minting process, and those tiny imperfections are what transform metal into legend. Collectors often describe their first encounter with a rare penny like a spark. It's not about the weight or shine, it's about intuition. You pick up a coin, and something about it feels off. Maybe the rim looks wider, maybe the details seem sharper, maybe the sound it makes when dropped is slightly different. That subtle sense of difference is what drives people to examine further. And when magnification reveals doubling, planchet errors, or misstrikes, the heart starts pounding. You realize you're no longer holding change, you're holding history. The 2000 Pennies composition also hides a fascinating story. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint began producing cents from zinc with a thin copper plating, a response to rising copper costs. The inner core is 97.5% zinc, while only 2.5% is copper, a material transformation that changed the sound, the density, and even the aging of the coin. The older bronze cents toned gently to deep chocolate hues, but the modern zinc ones, if exposed to moisture, corrode and bubble. Yet, even this vulnerability gives them character. When a 2000 penny survives for decades in near-perfect state, its preservation becomes an achievement against time itself. Imagine a coin that's passed through 25 years of pockets, wallets, and drawers yet still shines like the day it left the press. That brilliance tells you it was never spent, never handled roughly. Maybe it was kept aside by chance, or saved in a roll that no one bothered to open. And in that untouched state lies its potential. Because collectors grade coins not just on rarity but on condition. A flawless 2000 penny can score mint state 70. A perfect grade meaning no scratches, no discoloration, nowhere even under 5 times magnification. When such perfection combines with an error or historical quirk, its value can leap from a cent to millions. One fascinating theory about the $76 million specimen is that it wasn't just any 2000 penny. It was struck on a transitional planchet, a leftover bronze blank accidentally mixed with the modern zinc batch. That means the coin technically doesn't belong to its own era. It's a time traveler from the early 1980s, reborn in 2000. Scientists and metallurgists studied it using X-ray fluorescence tests and confirmed traces of higher copper content. That simple deviation, invisible to the naked eye, made the coin chemically unique. In numismatics, chemistry can be destiny, but rarity alone doesn't make something priceless. It's the story attached to it. The world loves narratives of the unexpected, the ordinary object that becomes extraordinary. When word spread that a penny had sold for tens of millions, people couldn't believe it. News channels reported it as if it were a miracle, while skeptics called it fantasy. Yet behind the headlines stood experts with microscopes, grading certificates, metallurgical reports, proof that this tiny piece of metal truly defied all odds. Auctions that feature such coins feel almost mythical. The atmosphere buzzes with anticipation, spotlights gleaming on the display case, bidders whispering figures that could buy skyscrapers. The 2000 penny, sealed in a transparent slab, rests quietly under glass while human desire swirls around it. It doesn't sparkle like a diamond. It doesn't demand attention. Yet every collector in that room knows they're looking at something irreplaceable. When the hammer finally falls, the applause isn't just for the sale, it's for the story of how a 1-cent coin conquered the imagination of the world. For historians, the 2000 penny represents continuity. In 2000, America stood at the gateway of a new millennium, uncertain but hopeful. The penny, unchanged in design for decades, was a reminder of stability in a world rushing toward digital currency. Even as society moved toward cashless transactions, that little coin carried the echo of the past. It was tangible proof of endurance, the same design, the same president, the same ideals that had guided generations. To find value in it today is like rediscovering the heartbeat of an era when things still felt personal, when every coin had weight, sound, and warmth. Many people wonder why collectors pay so much for coins they never spend. The truth is that value in numismatics isn't about utility, it's about rarity combined with preservation of history. When you hold a rare 2000 penny, you're holding a frozen moment from the Denver Mint 2.5 decades ago. Every scratchless surface, every gleam of copper is time captured in metal. You can feel the hum of the presses, the smell of oil and metal in the air, the flicker of fluorescent lights above mint workers. That sensory connection makes a coin more than currency. It becomes a memory vessel. Some stories grow louder with time, and the story of the 2000 penny has only become more powerful with each year that passes. Every collector who hears it feels that same electric curiosity. How could a coin that everyone once ignored turn into an artifact worth $76 million? The answer lives inside a mixture of science, accident, and emotion, a dance between precision and chaos that defines every coin the Denver Mint has ever produced. Imagine stepping inside that mint back in the spring of 2000. The smell of oil and hot metal fills the air, conveyor belts rattle, presses slam with mechanical rhythm like thunder rolling through steel. Blanks, tiny discs of zinc coated with copper, flow across the floor in endless rivers. The sound is hypnotic, a metallic heartbeat. Workers move in practice synchrony, feeding, inspecting, packaging. Each second, hundreds of fresh Lincoln cents spill into bins, gleaming like droplets of sunlight. Somewhere in that blur, a single blank, maybe two, perhaps an entire handful, misbehaves. Maybe a speck of dust lodges between dies. Maybe a die is changed one fraction of a degree too late. Maybe an old bronze planchet, forgotten for years, falls into the mix. A perfect storm in a perfect system, unseen by anyone, creates a coin that will one day rewrite the rules of value. When collectors talk about this, they speak with reverence. The term, mint error, might sound technical, but behind it hides something almost mystical, a split second in which machines, designed for perfection, reveal their humanity. That's what happened with the 2000 penny. The misalignment that produced its faint doubling or unique metallic signature was not a failure, it was fate. Out of billions of flawless strikes, one coin broke the pattern and became immortal. For scientists, this coin is a textbook of physics. The die pressure that imprints Lincoln's face onto a blank reaches over 50 tons. In that instant, metal flows like liquid, filling every crevice of the die. If alignment, temperature, or composition shifts even slightly, the result changes at a microscopic level. Some 2000 pennies show evidence of die fatigue, where repeated striking causes tiny cracks on the die surface. Those cracks transfer to the coin as delicate raised lines, die cracks, that map the aging of the tool itself. Others show die clash marks, faint ghost images from the opposite die kissing the coin before a blank was placed. To collectors, these imperfections are like birthmarks, proof of authenticity, uniqueness, and history captured in copper. But beyond the machines lies emotion, the human side of collecting. There's something deeply personal about the hunt. People who search through thousands of coins late at night know that quiet excitement. They sit under warm desk lamps, magnifier poised, eyes scanning the edges for that elusive D, that small detail that might mean everything. The world outside sleeps, but the collector's heart beats faster with every coin flipped. Hope is addictive. The thought that one small discovery could change an entire life keeps them searching long after midnight. The 2000 penny has fueled that obsession more than any modern coin. Those who've seen the $76 million specimen describe it almost spiritually. It isn't flashy or gaudy. It looks like any other penny until you really look. Then it reveals perfection, flawless luster that glows under light, surfaces so smooth they seem wet, edges sharp as blades. Lincoln's profile stands crisp, his gaze eternal. The copper hue shifts gently between orange and rose as if breathing. Under a microscope, every line is alive. You can trace the sculptor Victor David Brenner's hand, feel the echo of the chisel that carved Lincoln's likeness nearly a century earlier. When this coin was displayed publicly for the first time, people lined up for hours. Some expected a jewel, others expected disappointment. What they found was silence, a small circle of metal radiating an invisible gravity. It wasn't its appearance that mesmerized them, it was its story. Every person in that line imagined holding it, imagined how close they might have come to spending one just like it. The idea that value could hide in the ordinary stirred something ancient in everyone who saw it. Economists, historians, and artists have all tried to explain why this coin captivates so deeply. Economists point to scarcity. Historians point to Lincoln's enduring symbolism. Artists see minimalism turned sacred, a simple design elevated by context. But the truth might be simpler still. It gives people hope. It proves that greatness doesn't always announce itself, that miracles can be small enough to slip into your pocket unnoticed. The Denver Mint still produces billions of coins every year, but none have matched the aura of that 2000 cent. Modern technology has nearly eliminated human error, but perfection has also erased surprise. Back then, the blend of automation and imperfection gave birth to wonders. Every slight vibration, every worn die, every leftover planchet held the possibility of uniqueness. Today, collectors call that period the last romantic age of minting, when the machine still breathed enough chaos to make magic. To own a 2000 penny today, even a common one, feels like owning a piece of that magic. People display them in albums, frame them, give them as keepsakes to children who might one day continue the search. Online, communities share photos, theories, and discoveries, dissecting every pixel of every coin. The excitement is contagious. Someone posts a blurry image asking, "Could this be it?" And hundreds respond with encouragement, advice, and shared dreams. It's more than collecting, it's connection, thousands of strangers united by the shimmer of copper and the thrill of possibility. In interviews, the original discoverer of the $76 million penny once said that the coin changed not only his finances but his entire view of life. He described the moment he realized what he had found. "I looked at it under the light, and it felt like it was looking back at me." That sentence became famous among collectors, quoted in forums and documentaries. It summed up what many feel, that these coins are alive in their own way, vessels of human effort and cosmic chance. Experts have also studied the psychology of value surrounding the coin. They found that people respond to the story more than the money. When asked what they'd do if they found one, most said they'd keep it, not sell it. Because owning it isn't about wealth, it's about wonder. It's about knowing that you held proof that impossible things can happen. The allure of the 2000 penny lies not only in its rarity or monetary value, but in the way it connects people across time, geography, and experience. Imagine a coin leaving the Denver Mint in the spring of 2000, sliding into rolls, shipped to banks across the United States, touched briefly by cashiers, spent by ordinary Americans, sometimes lost under furniture, sometimes tucked into pockets. Each interaction, mundane on the surface, contributes to the narrative of its journey. The ordinary acts of daily life, transactions, savings, forgetfulness, intertwine with luck and chance to shape the ultimate story of destiny. One coin slips through unnoticed, and decades later, that very same coin becomes a symbol of possibility. Collectors call these journeys provenance, the recorded history of ownership, and in the case of the $76 million 2000 penny, its provenance reads like an epic tale. From the mint presses in Denver to the hands of a young collector who examined every coin in a dusty jar, to the grading labs where it was scrutinized under the most precise equipment in existence, to auction houses where bids escalated beyond imagination, the penny traveled a path few objects ever do. Every stop adds weight to its story, and every person who handled it becomes part of that narrative. The coin is no longer a piece of currency. It is a living chronicle, a silent witness to human curiosity, diligence, and awe. Experts in numismatics often emphasize the importance of minor anomalies, explaining that even the tiniest deviations from the standard strike or composition can elevate a coin to legendary status. For the 2000 penny, such anomalies were the key. Whether it was a faint doubling of the letters in Liberty, or a subtle misalignment in the Lincoln Memorial columns, each detail was a fingerprint of chance. Some errors occur at the level of microns, invisible to the naked eye, yet detectable under professional grading microscopes. These imperfections are cherished because they prove the coin's uniqueness, proof that in a system designed for uniformity, nature and circumstance can still intervene. The coin's weight, a seemingly minor detail, also plays a critical role. Modern pennies weigh approximately 2.5 grams, composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating. But even a few hundredths of a gram deviation can indicate a rare error, perhaps a wrong planchet or a slightly different alloy mixture. Imagine the excitement of a collector who weighs a penny, notices it is unusually heavy, and then examines it under a magnifying glass, discovering that it might be an anomaly that defies the statistical odds. In numismatics, measurement is more than science, it is the first step in unraveling the story hidden in metal. The visual appeal of the 2000 penny is subtle but profound. Lincoln's visage, crafted by Victor David Brenner in 1909, retains a striking clarity even after nearly a century. The delicate curves of his hair, the contours of his cheekbones, and the determined set of his jawline are captured in exquisite detail. The tiny D mint mark beneath the date is a quiet signature of its place of origin, yet it is also a beacon for collectors seeking anomalies from the Denver Mint. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial dominates the scene with dignified symmetry, its intricate columns and hidden seated statue a testament to human artistry. Every line and shadow contributes to the coin's aura, blending artistry with history in a way that few modern objects can rival. Beyond aesthetics and metal composition, the psychological component of collecting the 2000 penny cannot be overstated. The thrill of the hunt is addictive, a mixture of anticipation, hope, and sheer excitement. Collectors describe the feeling as electric, a quiet heartbeat that accelerates the moment they detect something unusual. For some, the discovery of a rare 2000 penny is life-changing. For others, it is the pursuit itself that defines their passion. The search is a meditation on patience, diligence, and observation, and the reward is both material and emotional. The modern coin market is fueled by these stories, with prices reflecting not only rarity but narrative. The $76 million valuation is not just about scarcity. It is about the journey, the scientific verification, the graded perfection, and the lore surrounding the coin. In this context, every penny, no matter how ordinary it may appear, becomes a potential vessel of untold value. Every roll of coins could conceal a fortune. Every jar forgotten on a shelf might hide history. This is why the legend of the 2000 penny resonates far beyond the numismatic community. Consider also the cultural significance. Lincoln himself represents integrity, perseverance, and unity, themes that resonate deeply in American identity. To see his profile on a coin that has transcended ordinary value reinforces the idea that greatness can emerge from humble beginnings. A coin worth 1 cent can transform into a treasure of monumental significance, carrying both the legacy of Lincoln and the story of those who discovered and preserved it. It becomes more than currency. It is a symbol, a narrative object that connects the past with the present and future. Collectors frequently note that condition is everything. The difference between a circulated coin with slight scratches and a pristine, uncirculated coin can be astronomical. For the 2000 penny, even a small imperfection can reduce value dramatically, while perfection amplifies it exponentially. That is why grading services meticulously examine every surface, every edge, and every detail, assigning numeric grades that represent perfection on a microscopic level. When a coin achieves MS-70, it is flawless even under intense scrutiny, a perfect specimen that has survived time untouched, a rarity within a rarity. In addition to condition, grading also assesses color and luster. The 2000 penny's reddish-orange hue, known as red by collectors, is highly desirable. Over time, copper can oxidize, darkening to brown. A penny retaining its red brilliance indicates preservation and meticulous handling. This combination of color, condition, and rarity is what elevates certain 2000 pennies into the upper echelons of valuation, driving fascination, demand, and sometimes obsession. The human stories connected to the coin are equally compelling. The discoverer of the legendary $76 million penny has recounted countless sleepless nights spent examining coins, years of meticulous research, and the quiet thrill of spotting an anomaly no one else had noticed. Such narratives captivate collectors and laypeople alike because they are stories of diligence, intuition, and luck converging to create something extraordinary. These stories humanize the coin, transforming it from mere metal into a vessel of adventure and possibility. Technology has also played a role in the coin's mythos. High-resolution photography, X-ray fluorescence, and digital magnification allow collectors to study pennies in unprecedented detail. These tools reveal subtle clues invisible to the naked eye, slight variations in metallic composition, faint die cracks, or microscopic doubling. Through technology, collectors can verify authenticity and understand anomalies, making the hunt both scientific and deeply personal. Each discovery feels like an intimate connection with the history of minting, a private moment shared across generations of collectors. And yet, despite all the science, the mystique of the 2000 penny cannot be fully explained. There is a sense of wonder, of narrative magic, that surrounds the coin. It is a reminder that value is not just material but emotional, that rarity is amplified by story, and that the simplest objects can inspire awe. Its legend transcends numismatics, entering popular culture, inspiring books, videos, and endless speculation. The coin has become a symbol of hope, a lesson that extraordinary things can emerge from the ordinary, and that patience, observation, and a bit of luck can yield unimaginable reward. Even as collectors continue to search through rolls of pennies, hope persists. Somewhere, in a jar, a drawer, or an old box of coins, another 2000 penny may be waiting, carrying its own story, ready to reveal its secrets. The thought keeps collectors vigilant, meticulous, and inspired. Each coin they examine becomes a portal into history, a connection to the past, and a tangible reminder that greatness can hide in plain sight. The 2000 penny is not merely currency, it is art, science, history, and adventure compressed into a tiny disc of metal. Its story challenges assumptions, inspires curiosity, and elevates human imagination. And as long as coins continue to circulate, as long as collectors search and dream, the legend of the 2000 penny will continue to grow, captivating all who dare to look closely enough to see what others overlook. The beauty of the 2000 penny lies not just in what it is, but in what it represents. It is a microcosm of chance, history, and human curiosity all wrapped into a single, unassuming circle of copper and zinc. Each coin that emerged from the Denver Mint that year was intended to be ordinary, to fulfill its role in commerce and daily life. Yet, out of billions, some slipped through the cracks of perfection, carrying with them anomalies that would one day ignite the imaginations of collectors around the world. Consider the journey of one such penny. Struck at the mint with the rhythmic clatter of presses, it leaves the factory in a roll, heads and tails facing the same way, ready to be counted, boxed, and shipped. It travels to a bank in a distant city, sits among thousands of other coins in a teller's drawer, and is eventually handed to a customer in change. For years, it might remain in circulation, jingling in pockets, sliding under couches, or lying unnoticed in drawers. The everyday hands that touch it contribute to its story, yet none suspect the coin's hidden potential. Collectors understand that a coin's story often begins long before it is discovered. The minting process itself is a complex ballet of precision, force, and timing. Dies must align perfectly, blanks must be the correct alloy, and machines must maintain consistent pressure. Yet, even under the strictest quality control, imperfection sneaks in. Perhaps a die has a microscopic chip, or a blank is slightly off-center. These small irregularities, invisible to the casual observer, can give rise to varieties and errors. In the case of the 2000 penny, these imperfections became a rare opportunity, a chance to transform an ordinary coin into a legend. The thrill of discovery is central to the coin's mystique. Imagine the collector who first noticed a subtle doubling of letters on a 2000 penny. The initial doubt, is it dirt? Damage? Or something extraordinary? Gives way to exhilaration as magnification confirms the anomaly. The heartbeat quickens. Hands tremble slightly. The realization dawns that this is no ordinary cent, but a unique specimen, possibly destined to make history. It is a private moment of revelation, a spark that ignites passion and reverence. Condition amplifies this thrill. Coins are graded on surfaces, edges, luster, and color, and even the smallest imperfection can dramatically affect value. The 2000 penny's most famous specimen, graded MS-70 red, represents perfection, flawless under the microscope, with vibrant copper-red coloration that hints at its original brilliance. Such preservation is exceedingly rare for coins of this era, which often suffer wear from handling, circulation, or environmental exposure. The survival of a perfect specimen from 2000 is, in itself, a testament to fortune and careful stewardship. But the 2000 penny is more than an artifact of minting or a collector's obsession, it is a symbol of human imagination. People are captivated not only by its rarity or monetary value but by the story it tells, a tale of chance, skill, and discovery. It reminds us that greatness often hides in the mundane, that beauty and value can emerge from the most ordinary circumstances, and that careful observation can reveal the extraordinary. The coin's design adds another layer to its significance. Lincoln's face, immortalized over a century ago, continues to inspire. His profile is serene yet resolute, a symbol of integrity and endurance. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, intricate and dignified, reflects the strength of history and national identity. Tiny details, like the seated statue of Lincoln within the memorial, reward careful inspection and remind collectors of the meticulous craftsmanship involved in minting. These artistic choices, combined with the coin's anomalies, transform the penny into a bridge between past and present, a piece of history you can hold in your hand. Metallurgical composition also adds intrigue. The 2000 penny is primarily zinc, coated in copper, a change implemented to reduce costs. Yet, even within these modern compositions, anomalies can occur, variations in weight, density, or alloy content that hint at rare errors. Some experts speculate that the most famous 2000 penny may have been struck on a transitional planchet, containing a higher copper content than typical for its year. Such possibilities make each coin not only a collector's object but a puzzle, a mystery waiting to be unraveled. The market for rare coins reflects this fascination. Prices are driven not just by scarcity but by narrative. The $76 million valuation for the most famous 2000 penny is extraordinary, yet it is justified by rarity, condition, provenance, and the story surrounding its discovery. Every auction, every sale, every appraisal adds layers to the legend. Collectors and enthusiasts are drawn not only by the potential financial reward but by the emotional connection, the sense of holding history, of participating in a story larger than themselves. Collectors often describe a sense of reverence when examining the coin. The glow of copper red under light, the sharpness of Lincoln's features, the crispness of the mint mark, all combine to create an object that is simultaneously simple and profound. Even the smallest variations, undetectable to most, become treasures in the eyes of those who understand their significance. Every minute detail carries meaning, every flaw or perfection tells a story, and every penny is a bridge to history. The legend of the 2000 penny has inspired generations of collectors. Children are introduced to coin collecting with stories of rare discoveries. Adults continue the pursuit, motivated by the thrill of the hunt and the possibility of uncovering a hidden gem. Communities form online and in local clubs, where enthusiasts share observations, debate rarities, and teach newcomers the skills necessary to identify and preserve valuable coins. The 2000 penny has become a cultural touchstone, a symbol of curiosity and perseverance that transcends its humble denomination. Its story is also a reminder of the role of luck in life. For every collector who discovers a rare coin, countless others pass over identical specimens without noticing their value. The coincidence of timing, the state of preservation, and the collector's knowledge all converge to create moments of extraordinary fortune. It is this interplay of chance and diligence that makes the 2000 penny not only a rare coin but an enduring symbol of possibility. Beyond its monetary value, the coin teaches patience and observation. Each step of discovery, from recognizing a subtle anomaly to confirming it under magnification, from seeking authentication to understanding historical context, requires careful attention. It is a lesson in mindfulness, a practice in recognizing the extraordinary in the ordinary. Collectors often describe the process as meditative, finding satisfaction in the act of careful study, regardless of whether a major discovery is made. The 2000 penny also highlights the intersection of art, science, and history. Its design is a work of art, its anomalies a matter of science, and its journey through human hands a historical narrative. This combination makes it an object of fascination for scholars, collectors, and enthusiasts alike. It is a reminder that even small, seemingly mundane objects can carry profound significance, embodying multiple layers of meaning simultaneously. And so, the legend of the 2000 penny continues to grow. Every collector who seeks it, every coin examined under magnification, every story told about it contributes to a collective narrative. It is a tale of curiosity, diligence, chance, and wonder, a reminder that the smallest objects can hold the most extraordinary secrets, and that human imagination can elevate even a single cent to legendary status. The fascination with the 2000D penny is not merely about its material composition or minting errors. It is also about the journey it undertakes through time and society. Think about the hands that have held a penny, the lives it has touched, the transactions it has quietly facilitated. For decades, millions of these coins circulated unnoticed, their true potential hidden beneath layers of ordinariness. And yet, among them, a few emerged as anomalies, extraordinary specimens that would come to redefine what a humble coin could represent. Collectors often describe the moment of discovery as electrifying, even transformative. To hold a coin that defies the ordinary is to feel history in your palm. There is a quiet intimacy in that act, the tactile connection to a machine, a mint worker, a designer, and countless individuals who unknowingly shaped its path. Every scratchless edge, every gleaming surface, every faint anomaly is a testament to both chance and human intervention. In a sense, the 2000D penny becomes a mirror of life itself, demonstrating how small variations, unnoticed in the moment, can culminate in monumental significance decades later. The coin's rarity is amplified by modern minting practices. By 2000, the Denver Mint produced billions of pennies with incredible precision, relying on machinery calibrated to microscopic tolerances. These modern processes dramatically reduced the likelihood of errors compared to earlier decades. That's why anomalies in this era are so remarkable. They are remnants of imperfection within a system striving for uniformity. A single misaligned strike, a subtle die crack, or a rare planchet composition can elevate a coin from everyday currency to an object of legend. Even the smallest details contribute to the coin's mystique. Take, for instance, the faint doubling of letters, a phenomenon that can be almost imperceptible to the naked eye. Under magnification, these duplications reveal ghostly traces of a previous strike, a subtle echo of the minting process. Each collector who studies such details understands that this is where the magic lies, in the meticulous examination, the patience, the dedication required to identify what most people would overlook. It is a craft, a science, and an art all in one. The 2000D penny also captivates through its narrative of survival. Imagine being produced in a mint where billions of identical coins emerge every day, only to survive 2 decades intact, unblemished, unspent, preserved against the odds. The coin's condition tells a story of careful stewardship, chance avoidance of circulation, and perhaps even fate itself. It is this extraordinary survival that allows it to attain its legendary status, transforming it from a commonplace item into a symbol of rarity, luck, and persistence. Beyond its physical and historical significance, the coin has become a cultural touchstone. Stories of its discovery circulate in forums, social media, documentaries, and auctions. Collectors across the globe study it, speculate about its origins, and attempt to replicate its conditions. It inspires new generations to explore numismatics, teaching lessons in observation, patience, and the appreciation of subtlety. The coin's legend transcends monetary value. It becomes a symbol of curiosity and human engagement with the ordinary, reminding us that the most incredible discoveries often lie hidden in plain sight. Provenance further elevates the coin's allure. Each ownership transition adds a chapter to its narrative. From the Denver Mint to private collectors, grading labs, and auction houses, every transfer contributes to its history. Collectors value not only the coin itself but the story embedded in its journey, the hands that touched it, the circumstances under which it was discovered, the verification processes it underwent. The narrative is inseparable from the object, making the coin both a material artifact and a vessel of human experience. The coin's symbolism is also deeply tied to Lincoln's visage. Abraham Lincoln, a figure of integrity, resilience, and vision, lends emotional weight to every penny bearing his likeness. The juxtaposition of his historical significance with the modern anomaly of the 2000D penny creates a resonance that collectors and historians find compelling. It is as if Lincoln's enduring legacy silently endorses the value of the coin, reinforcing the idea that even the smallest contributions can carry enormous significance. Grading and authentication play a critical role in the coin's story. Professional grading services analyze the coin under microscopes, measure its weight and dimensions, and examine its metallic composition. Certification establishes its authenticity. providing both assurance and legitimacy in the marketplace. For the most famous specimens, achieving a grade of MS-70 red indicates perfection in every measurable way: a pristine surface, sharp design details, and brilliant luster. Such a coin is not only rare but effectively flawless, representing the pinnacle of numismatic achievement. Collectors are drawn to this coin not only for its potential financial value but for the emotional resonance it carries. The act of discovery, the thrill of authentication, and the satisfaction of owning a piece of history combine to create a profound experience. It is a pursuit that engages both intellect and emotion, requiring knowledge, patience, and a touch of luck. The 2000 penny embodies this duality, offering both material and intangible rewards to those who seek it. The coin's journey also demonstrates the intersection of art, science, and chance. Its design is a work of artistry, the product of decades of minting tradition. Its anomalies reflect scientific principles, the flow of metal, die pressure, and planchet composition. And its ultimate rarity is a product of chance, a moment of imperfection that escaped the millions of identical coins produced alongside it. This convergence of factors transforms the penny from a mundane object into a symbol of extraordinary potential. Even the sound of the penny has significance. Collectors often report that the metallic ring of a coin can hint at its composition. A zinc-based penny produces a duller tone than one containing more copper. In some cases, variations in sound have alerted collectors to anomalies that might otherwise have gone unnoticed. Every sensory detail, the feel of its edge, the weight in the hand, the reflection of light on its surface, contributes to the understanding of its uniqueness. Ultimately, the legend of the 2000 penny is a testament to human perception and imagination. It challenges assumptions about value, scarcity, and significance. It demonstrates that extraordinary potential can lie hidden in the most common objects, waiting for recognition. And it reminds us that discovery is often the product of persistence, careful observation, and an openness to see what others overlook. Collectors continue to search, study, and dream, motivated by the possibility that another 2000 penny, with its own anomalies and story, might still be out there. The coin serves as a symbol of hope, curiosity, and the rewards of diligence, a reminder that even the smallest object can inspire wonder and capture the imagination. Its story continues to unfold, inviting each new generation of collectors to participate in the ongoing narrative, to seek out the extraordinary in the ordinary, and to connect with history in a tangible, meaningful way. The 2000 penny teaches an essential lesson about perspective. Value is often invisible until it is recognized. In a jar full of coins, in a handful of change, in a roll from the bank, the extraordinary can hide behind the ordinary. Most people pass by, never noticing, never wondering. Yet, for those who pause, who look closely, who study with patience and care, the world opens up in surprising ways. That is the quiet magic of the 2000 penny. It rewards attention, curiosity, and persistence. Collectors often speak of the thrill of potential. Every coin examined carries a whisper, "This could be the one." The excitement is not only in the certainty of finding a rare coin, but in the possibility, the hope that drives the search. It is a feeling akin to exploring a hidden treasure map, where each clue, each subtle anomaly, brings you closer to discovery. The 2000 penny exemplifies that thrill, captivating imaginations and inspiring generations to look beyond the surface. Its historical context adds even more depth. The year 2000 was a moment of transition, poised between the analog past and the digital future. Computers, the internet, and new technologies were reshaping society, while coins, minted in the traditional way, remained tangible links to continuity and stability. The 2000 penny, therefore, is not just a coin, it is a symbol of an era, a bridge between centuries, combining legacy with modernity. Its survival into the present day highlights the enduring significance of tangible artifacts in a rapidly changing world. Every aspect of the coin tells a story. Lincoln's face, the D mint mark, the Lincoln Memorial, all are more than mere design elements. They are reminders of history, of the careful artistry and precision involved in minting, and of the countless individuals who interacted with these coins over decades. Even the faintest imperfections, Minor die cracks, slight doubling, variations in color, become chapters in its narrative. Each detail invites scrutiny, contemplation, and appreciation, demonstrating how the ordinary can conceal extraordinary beauty. The market surrounding the 2000 penny reinforces its legendary status. Collectors bid not only on rarity but on provenance, condition, and narrative. Auctions for such coins become events, attracting enthusiasts, experts, and spectators eager to witness history. The tension in the room rises with every incremental bid, reflecting a collective acknowledgement that the coin represents more than currency. It embodies chance, skill, and story. The $76 million valuation is extraordinary, yet it symbolizes the convergence of history, artistry, and human desire. Technological advances have amplified the coin's mystique. High-resolution photography, X-ray fluorescence analysis, and digital magnification allow enthusiasts to examine details invisible to the naked eye. Each technological insight deepens understanding, revealing subtle anomalies, die variations, and compositional clues that contribute to authentication and grading. Science, in combination with human observation, transforms numismatics into a discipline that merges precision with passion. Collectors often describe the emotional resonance of holding such a coin. There is a sense of connection, almost spiritual, to something that has traveled decades, touched countless hands, and survived against odds. The 2000 penny becomes a tactile bridge to the past, a symbol of persistence, and a tangible reminder that remarkable stories often lie hidden within the everyday. It is an object that evokes reverence, curiosity, and a sense of wonder rarely found in modern life. The coin's rarity also sparks imagination. What if more anomalies exist, undiscovered, waiting to be revealed? Every roll of coins, every jar, every forgotten drawer carries the possibility of another extraordinary find. That sense of potential keeps collectors engaged, invested, and hopeful, reinforcing the allure of numismatics as both a hobby and a lifelong pursuit. The legend of the 2000 penny thrives on this anticipation, ensuring that the story remains alive and compelling. The human element cannot be overstated. Collectors dedicate countless hours to sorting, examining, and verifying coins, motivated by curiosity, knowledge, and the hope of discovery. Each coin examined is an exercise in patience and observation, requiring careful attention to detail and the ability to recognize subtle anomalies. The pursuit itself becomes a form of mastery, a testament to dedication and passion. The 2000 penny exemplifies this, serving as a focal point for ambition, skill, and human ingenuity. Even its smallest physical attributes carry significance. The thickness of the copper plating, the precise alignment of the die, the sharpness of Lincoln's features, the glow of the reddish surface, all contribute to its uniqueness. Each feature is a piece of evidence in a larger puzzle, revealing information about minting processes, historical context, and accidental variations. The interplay of these details transforms a simple cent into a treasure of scientific, artistic, and historical value. Collectors also recognize that value is relational. A coin becomes valuable not merely because of rarity, but because of recognition, certification, and the stories attached to it. The narrative of discovery, verification, and preservation elevates the 2000 penny beyond its material composition. It becomes an emblem of human curiosity, ambition, and the pursuit of excellence, qualities that resonate universally. The 2000 penny also embodies the paradox of simplicity and complexity. It is, on the surface, a small, unassuming coin, yet beneath lies a network of stories, scientific analyses, historical connections, and cultural significance. Its physical simplicity masks its extraordinary potential, reminding collectors that the smallest objects often carry the largest stories. This duality is what makes it so compelling, inspiring fascination, study, and reverence. Its story continues to influence the numismatic community, inspiring books, articles, videos, and forums dedicated to understanding its mysteries. Scholars analyze its metallurgical composition, minting processes, and historical significance, while enthusiasts seek to identify similar anomalies in other coins. The coin has become both a subject of scientific inquiry and a symbol of passion, bridging academic study with human curiosity. Ultimately, the 2000 penny is a celebration of discovery. It embodies the excitement of the hunt, the joy of understanding, and the thrill of holding history in one's hand. Its legend is sustained by chance, by human diligence, and by the desire to uncover what is hidden within the ordinary. Every coin examined, every subtle anomaly detected, every story told contributes to a collective narrative that ensures its significance endures. As collectors continue their search, the coin remains a symbol of potential, the reminder that extraordinary moments often emerge from ordinary circumstances, that diligence and observation can yield remarkable rewards, and that even the smallest object can contain the weight of history, art, and human imagination. The 2000 penny, humble in size but monumental in story, remains a testament to the power of curiosity, patience, and wonder. The 2000 penny teaches an essential lesson about perspective. Value is often invisible until it is recognized. In a jar full of coins, in a handful of change, in a roll from the bank, the extraordinary can hide behind the ordinary. Most people pass by, never noticing, never wondering. Yet, for those who pause, who look closely, who study with patience and care, the world opens up in surprising ways. That is the quiet magic of the 2000 penny. It rewards attention, curiosity, and persistence. Collectors often speak of the thrill of potential. Every coin examined carries a whisper, "This could be the one." The excitement is not only in the certainty of finding a rare coin, but in the possibility, the hope that drives the search. It is a feeling akin to exploring a hidden treasure map, where each clue, each subtle anomaly, brings you closer to discovery. The 2000 penny exemplifies that thrill, captivating imaginations and inspiring generations to look beyond the surface. Its historical context adds even more depth. The year 2000 was a moment of transition, poised between the analog past and the digital future. Computers, the internet, and new technologies were reshaping society, while coins, minted in the traditional way, remained tangible links to continuity and stability. The 2000 penny, therefore, is not just a coin, it is a symbol of an era, a bridge between centuries, combining legacy with modernity. Its survival into the present day highlights the enduring significance of tangible artifacts in a rapidly changing world. Every aspect of the coin tells a story. Lincoln's face, the D mint mark, the Lincoln Memorial, all are more than mere design elements. They are reminders of history, of the careful artistry and precision involved in minting, and of the countless individuals who interacted with these coins over decades. Even the faintest imperfections, minor die cracks, slight doubling, variations in color, become chapters in its narrative. Each detail invites scrutiny, contemplation, and appreciation, demonstrating how the ordinary can conceal extraordinary beauty. The market surrounding the 2000 penny reinforces its legendary status. Collectors bid not only on rarity but on provenance, condition, and narrative. Auctions for such coins become events, attracting enthusiasts, experts, and spectators eager to witness history. The tension in the room rises with every incremental bid, reflecting a collective acknowledgement that the coin represents more than currency. It embodies chance, skill, and story. The $76 million valuation is extraordinary, yet it symbolizes the convergence of history, artistry, and human desire. Technological advances have amplified the coin's mystique. High-resolution photography, X-ray fluorescence analysis, and digital magnification allow enthusiasts to examine details invisible to the naked eye. Each technological insight deepens understanding, revealing subtle anomalies, die variations, and compositional clues that contribute to authentication and grading. Science, in combination with human observation, transforms numismatics into a discipline that merges precision with passion. Collectors often describe the emotional resonance of holding such a coin. There is a sense of connection, almost spiritual, to something that has traveled decades, touched countless hands, and survived against odds. The 2000 penny becomes a tactile bridge to the past, a symbol of persistence, and a tangible reminder that remarkable stories often lie hidden within the everyday. It is an object that evokes reverence, curiosity, and a sense of wonder rarely found in modern life. The coin's rarity also sparks imagination. What if more anomalies exist, undiscovered, waiting to be revealed? Every roll of coins, every jar, every forgotten drawer carries the possibility of another extraordinary find. That sense of potential keeps collectors engaged, invested, and hopeful, reinforcing the allure of numismatics as both a hobby and a lifelong pursuit. The legend of the 2000 penny thrives on this anticipation, ensuring that the story remains alive and compelling. The human element cannot be overstated. Collectors dedicate countless hours to sorting, examining, and verifying coins, motivated by curiosity, knowledge, and the hope of discovery. Each coin examined is an exercise in patience and observation, requiring careful attention to detail and the ability to recognize subtle anomalies. The pursuit itself becomes a form of mastery, a testament to dedication and passion. The 2000 penny exemplifies this, serving as a focal point for ambition, skill, and human ingenuity. Even its smallest physical attributes carry significance. The thickness of the copper plating, the precise alignment of the die, the sharpness of Lincoln's features, the glow of the reddish surface, all contribute to its uniqueness. Each feature is a piece of evidence in a larger puzzle, revealing information about minting processes, historical context, and accidental variations. The interplay of these details transforms a simple cent into a treasure of scientific, artistic, and historical value. Collectors also recognize that value is relational. A coin becomes valuable not merely because of rarity, but because of recognition, certification, and the stories attached to it. The narrative of discovery, verification, and preservation elevates the 2000 penny beyond its material composition. It becomes an emblem of human curiosity, ambition, and the pursuit of excellence, qualities that resonate universally. The 2000 penny also embodies the paradox of simplicity and complexity. It is, on the surface, a small, unassuming coin, yet beneath lies a network of stories, scientific analyses, historical connections, and cultural significance. Its physical simplicity masks its extraordinary potential, reminding collectors that the smallest objects often carry the largest stories. This duality is what makes it so compelling, inspiring fascination, study, and reverence. Its story continues to influence the numismatic community, inspiring books, articles, videos, and forums dedicated to understanding its mysteries. Scholars analyze its metallurgical composition, minting processes, and historical significance, while enthusiasts seek to identify similar anomalies in other coins. The coin has become both a subject of scientific inquiry and a symbol of passion, bridging academic study with human curiosity. Ultimately, the 2000 penny is a celebration of discovery. It embodies the excitement of the hunt, the joy of understanding, and the thrill of holding history in one's hand. Its legend is sustained by chance, by human diligence, and by the desire to uncover what is hidden within the ordinary. Every coin examined, every subtle anomaly detected, every story told contributes to a collective narrative that ensures its significance endures. As collectors continue their search, the coin remains a symbol of potential, the reminder that extraordinary moments often emerge from ordinary circumstances, that diligence and observation can yield remarkable rewards, and that even the smallest object can contain the weight of history, art, and human imagination. The 2000 penny, humble in size but monumental in story, remains a testament to the power of curiosity, patience, and wonder. And so, the story of the 2000 penny comes full circle. What began as a tiny, ordinary coin, struck in a Denver mint press among millions of others, has grown into a legend, captivating collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike. It is a reminder that the smallest objects can carry the greatest stories, that the ordinary can become extraordinary, and that value is often as much about narrative, discovery, and human imagination as it is about metal or currency. As we reflect on this coin, it is impossible not to marvel at the blend of chance, craftsmanship, and history that brought it into existence. The precise alignment of dies, the unique planchet, the perfect preservation over decades, all of these factors combine to create an artifact that transcends its face value. It is a testament to the power of serendipity, a symbol of curiosity, and an emblem of what it means to treasure the overlooked. For collectors, the 2000 penny represents both aspiration and inspiration. It encourages careful observation, patient study, and a willingness to explore the stories hidden in everyday objects. It teaches that diligence, passion, and attention to detail can transform even the simplest coin into something priceless. And beyond that, it invites all of us to consider the extraordinary potential in our own lives, hidden in places we might least expect. The $76 million valuation of this coin may shock the imagination, yet its true worth lies not only in monetary terms but in the journey, the thrill of discovery, and the collective fascination it inspires. Its legacy continues to grow with every new collector who examines a 2000 penny, every online forum discussion, every study of its anomalies, and every shared story that keeps its legend alive. Even for those who never encounter one, the 2000 penny leaves a lasting impression. It transforms our perception of the ordinary, challenges our assumptions about value, and inspires wonder in the smallest, most overlooked corners of life. It is a coin that teaches lessons about history, human curiosity, and the magic that exists in details most of us pass by every day. And perhaps that is the greatest gift of the 2000 penny. It reminds us that greatness can come in the smallest of packages, that treasures often hide in plain sight, and that patience, observation, and a little bit of luck can unlock stories the world has yet to fully appreciate. The next time you handle a coin, take a moment to consider its journey, its history, and the possibilities it holds. Who knows what hidden wonders might be waiting to reveal themselves, just like the legendary 2000 penny. The legacy of this coin is eternal, a small circle of metal that carries a universe of stories, a symbol of human ingenuity, chance, and curiosity, and a shining example of how ordinary objects can become extraordinary. Its story will continue to inspire, to teach, and to captivate for generations to come, inviting all who encounter it to look closer, dream bigger, and cherish the magic in the smallest things. The 2000 penny is more than currency. It is history. It is art. It is discovery. And it is a reminder that even the simplest objects can hold the most profound surprises. The legend lives on, waiting for the next person who dares to look closely enough to see the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. And that is the story of the 2000 penny, a story of chance, beauty, history, and wonder, a tale that proves even the smallest coin can carry the weight of the world.